stepping up. Green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah. It's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Earle. Just going to be me today for today's NFL card. We get also 3 games in the NHL. We get the NLCS Game 6 as the Mets try to push it to Game 7. We'll talk about that. That'll be the last game we go over for today. But before we get into today's games, before we get into today's slate, we'll recap yesterday. Which finally, damn it, I needed it. A good day. It was almost a sweep in hockey. College football, for once, was profitable, it feels like. It was just a day that I desperately needed. Didn't start off the greatest. Started off with losses with UConn, minus 110. Coastal plus 5 lost, but I cashed the over 56.5 in that game. Clemson, UVA over 57.5 was a winner. That game finished 48-31. Louisville plus 5.5 was a loser. One of my favorite plays of the day, Temple laying the points, was a winner. They win 20-10 over Tulsa. Miami of Ohio laying 3.5 was a winner. Navy laying 16.5 was a winner. Alabama in the over was a double loser there. Baylor plus 4.5. They went outright by 24 points. New Mexico and Utah State over 78. The highest total I've seen all season long. Soars over the total, 50-45. Arkansas plus 3, it was a complete no-show. Ball State plus 28. They lost by 10, so they covered there. Memphis minus 10.5, gave up a touchdown late for the backdoor cover. And then, but the full game did go over there. Cashed a lot of overs yesterday. Kansas State, West Virginia over 56 was a winner. Texas minus 5 was a loser, as well as the over 57 was a loser. And then ended the night off with SMU minus 16.5 was a winner. So I think I finished up about a unit in college football. I think I was 10-8 in college football. Baseball split out 1-1. Had the Yankees team total over 3.5, never in doubt. And then the full game over came up half a run short. So 1-1 down 0.1 units in baseball. And then for hockey was almost a clean sweep. The Detroit Red Wings got our day started off with a 5-2 win as plus 155 underdogs. We followed that up with Edmonton and Dallas under the 6.5. That game finished 4-1. That game was, I believe, 1-0 heading into the third period. And they made us sweat a little bit there. There was 4 goals in the third period. The Islanders team total over 3.5, never in doubt there. The full game over as well, as the game finished 4-3 in a shootout. This is why I trust the Islanders with team totals and not puck lines or reg lines. They go to shootouts against teams like the Canadians. So that's kind of rough there, but they get the job done. Islander overs, we'll look to continue to bet those throughout the season. The Canucks, minus 1, they take care of business. They shut out the Philadelphia Flyers. Bad spot there for the Flyers coming back from that long West Coast road trip. Plus, I don't think the Flyers are going to be a very good team this year. The New York Rangers were underdogs. We took them. They win 4-1 over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Nice little plus 110 winner there. And then the only blemish on the NHL record yesterday, the Blackhawks plus 110, because, of course, the one time I don't bet on the Sabres and bet against them, they finally win a hockey game. So, overall, though, profitable day, up 6.4 units. Damn it, I needed it. And I'm hoping to keep the momentum here going. Currently, do have a bet on this early game. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars laying 6. So we'll keep an eye on that. Jacksonville minus 6. But with that being said, we'll head over to the chat and then we will get into some football. Robert in the chat. What's good, Robert? It's fun jumping on Terry's stream. And be able to interact with you as well. That was fun last night. Went 4-9 in the NHL. I'm not stressing though. No reason to. Yeah, I'm finally. If the Blackhawks would have won, I would have been finally back in the black. So there you go. Preds are 0-5. Yeah, and I faded them 3 out of their 5 games so far. This was a team that I said I didn't think it was going to be this bad, but it was a team I said that you're going to watch. You got to watch out. You got to watch out because they might take some time to develop, and they might take some time to get the chemistry going. So there you go. I hit a plus 10.25 goal scorer parlay. Kucherov, Stamkos, Svechnikov. There you go. Hell yeah. Wake up, chat. Let's get this money out. Skull Vikings. I'm against them, but for me, it was a simple cap. I think the Lions are the best team in football, and I got them as a dog. So we'll get into that in a little bit, though. But you should absolutely not be worried about fading me in the NFL because it's been a poor year. Hopefully this week we get a little bounce back after last week was I think it was a 4-12 week because I went 2-0 on Thursday Night Football last week. But then, last week it was all favorites and overs. Favorites went 13-1 straight up, 12-2 ATS, and overs went 11-3. So I'm going to be looking for some dogs and unders. I've already bet a few things, and I have a couple things else I want in mind. Touchdown Jacksonville as well, so that's nice to see there. So hopefully we can get back on the right track here at Jacksonville. I probably should have taken some live, but it is what it is. Let's get started, though. We have the Seattle Seahawks and the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are 3-point favorites with a total of 52 in this game. Line opened up at look-ahead line was a 2.5. Opening line, let's take a look. That would be Monday. I'm going to call Monday the opening line. So we don't have, because I know some Sunday nights there's opening line. So I guess you can call Sunday the opening line. But I look for Mondays, which is it opened up 2.5, went up to a 3, back down to a 2.5, back to a 3. So the Seahawks are the half-point line movement towards these Falcons. Look ahead line 47.5, opening line 50. Now we're up to a 52, so we just have a big movement towards this over. And it's not surprising. When I was capping this card, I've seen a lot of movements towards overs and a lot of movements towards favorites, which doesn't surprise me with the way that last week went. 76% of tickets, 86% of cash is on the over. The line's moving towards the over. And then we have 84% of tickets and 73% of cash is on that's the money line, my bad. 51% of tickets and 60% of cash is on the Seahawks. And the line's not really moved too much here in this one. We have Seattle entering this game. I think Seattle's a little fraudulent personally, because when you looked at the way their season started and now look at the way they've gone since, they started the season 3-0, now they're 3-3. They beat the Denver Broncos in Bo Nix's first road game. Then they went to overtime against New England. They beat a two-less Miami team. And then they play real teams. They lose by 13 against the Lions. They lose against the Giants. That's not a good loss as 7-point favorites at home. And then they lose to the 49ers last week, which were on the Niners. I only want to look to fade the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks are a bet against team personally. So I do lean towards the Falcons. This is not a game I have any plays on, though. This is not a game I'm getting involved with, just because I don't know if I really want to lay 3 with the Falcons, because the Falcons, they're 4-2 this year, so they're off to a nice start. They've won 3 in a row against 3 NFC South teams. Maybe this is a potential letdown spot, though, because you play 3 divisional opponents, and then you have to go out of division, and then you get another divisional game next week. They play Tampa Bay. So this could be a tricky spot here for the Falcons. Maybe they're looking ahead to Tampa Bay after playing 3 divisional games and then asking them to play a non-divisional game and then back to another divisional game. I think this is a bad sandwich spot potentially for them. So as much as I am not a fan of the Seahawks, and I think the Seahawks are more bet against than bet on, I definitely would not be looking to fade the Seahawks this week. I would only look towards the Seahawks getting the plus the 3. The more and more I look at it, is this a game I'm getting involved with, though? No. So it's a lean towards the Seahawks, and that's about it. Let's see. Seahawks win. All the NFC West teams winning this week. Fair. Vikings suck. Okay. I started that this year, and I've kind of pumped the brakes on that one. because apparently Sam Darnold is Joe Montana this year. Geno Smith over 26.5 pass completions. I don't hate that because I could see this being Seahawks in the over. So I wouldn't talk you off of that there. Stars money line, there you go. Over 6 Islanders, Canadians, never in doubt. Rangers money line, Canucks puck line. The Hawks were our only loser, and then Hawks over 6 loss. I thought it was 4-2. So the over 6 would have pushed, unless you had 6.5. Over 52. I could see the over in this game. It's just, for me, it's nerve-wracking seeing everything that happened last week, looking at favorites and overs this week at all. Even though I did take a favorite in this Jacksonville game, but the Patriots are kind of a public dog in that spot there. So we'll see. We will see though. Army, yeah. I would have only looked in that direction there. ECU, I can't believe that this team was hyped up at all this year. ECU sucks. It's bad here in Greenville for the football. It's a good thing we're a baseball school. Texas State minus 9.5. The over in Buffalo, Western Michigan was a winner there. Louisiana first half spread did not cover. They did cover the full game. Kansas covered the first half. Texas money line, no good. Mississippi State plus 21. There you go. How about what do you? Oh yeah, okay. You have your FCS there that we went over. Seahawks ain't losing 4 straight games. I would lean in that direction. I would take the points before laying them in this game personally, but I'm not getting involved in this game. Over 78 New Mexico game. Yeah, Navy. I did lay it with Navy. Yeah, Army. And then Arkansas. Seahawks money line. Yeah. Wagner plus 3. There you go. Harvard minus 5.5 lost. Yale. And then Robert Morris took care of business. Stetson did not. Abilene Christian did. 4-2. There you go. Hey, if that's an angle you want to use and make money off of, hell, I after looking at those numbers, I should have jumped on Robert Morris with you. And the one thing that we can really look at with the FCS that we can't say with, I think, with FBS is the markets mean absolutely nothing in the FCS because nobody bets the FCS. So there's no public side. There's no sharp side in FCS football. There's just point values. And you can very well simplify FCS football by just that. Leading Seahawks plus 3. Yeah. Seahawks are nothing. Yeah. Imagine losing to the Blues. I can't believe I didn't bet the Blues yesterday. I said that they were a team to look at as home dogs, and I never pulled the trigger on them. And I never pulled the triggers on the Panthers and the over as well. And I could have had an even better day in hockey, but it is what it is. Yeah. 16-8 yesterday altogether. There you go. I meant it pushed. My bad. What? Oh, actually 16-7. There you go. What's good, Nicholas Handy? Yeah, on Saturdays, I'll definitely be asking you for FCS on your leans and what you think the line should be. Yeah. I don't know how I did yesterday. Fair. But we will continue moving on here. This is an ugly dog. If anybody wants an ugly dog, the Buffalo Bills are taking on the Tennessee Titans. 9.5-point favorites are the Bills with a total of 41 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history in this one here, where this line opened up at a look-ahead line of this one was an 8. Opening line 8. Now it's a 9.5. And I was kind of hoping to see a 10 this morning, and I probably would have looked at the Titans. Look-ahead line 43. Opening line 41.5 down to a 41. This was an under I had written down that I kind of liked. But it is Mason Rudolph under center here for the Titans. We have 80% of tickets and 80% of cash is on the Bills. The line's moving towards the Bills, so at least the cash flow makes sense there. And then we have 89% of the tickets and 79% of cash is on the over here as well. And the line moving towards the under makes me interested in the under in this game an awful lot. Let's take a look at the what these two teams have done. The Tennessee Titans are coming in off of a 20-17 loss against the Indianapolis Colts. They were 2.5-point favorites in that game. They are 1-4 to start the year. Their only win was against the two-list Dolphins, 31-12 in that game. Buffalo coming in off of a Their third straight road game, they went to Baltimore, to Houston, and then they finished off the road trip with a 23-20 win over the New York Jets. And this is their first game back off the road trip there. I would only look towards the dog and the under in this game. Wow, touchdown Jaguars, a punt return touchdown. That was like a 95-yard punt return. But I'm sorry, back to the breakdown here. I would only look Tennessee in this game. If I'm looking at anything here, I know it's ugly, but I would only take the points, but not lay them in this game. And I would look towards an under in this spot as well. Let's take a look at it's a 41.5, and you can get a 10 at -120. I'm tempted to take +10 and under 41.5. I think this could be a little bit of a letdown spot here for the Buffalo Bills, laying this type of number. Granted, the Bills can absolutely cover in this game. The only times they've covered this year against Miami and Jacksonville, which, I mean, the Titans are probably just as bad as those, but the Titans keep games close. They're 1-4 this year, and the only game that has been a double-digit loss for them was against the Green Bay Packers, 30-14. So I'm kind of interested in the more and more I look at it, I'm kind of interested in getting +10 with the Titans and taking the under here as well. So I think I'm going to add that. I'm going to add both the Titans +10 and the under in this game here. I think this is a potential sleepy spot for the Bills. And I think this is too many points for them to be laying in this spot. And yeah, under 41.5 -115 as well. So Titans and under for me here in this game. +10, under 41.5 in this one. Over 6 in a Hawks game. We will get into that. Over 6. Yeah. That one. Yeah. Bills Mafia. Good luck. Can you post the card after the show? Yep. Here's what I'll do is I will go to create post, and I'll start typing these up as I do it. Or we have our plays already posted. I'm from Tennessee. This is a Titans spot. Yeah. Titans are nothing. Allen, half an interception. Titans +9.5. Tony Pollard, 80 plus rushing yards. There you go. Let's go Jags. Forgot about the London game. Yeah, I'm on the Jaguars -6, and hell yeah, they're up 12 points. 97-yard punt return touchdown. Yeah, I got Drake London anytime touchdown +110. There you go. Will ain't starting, so they might win. Yeah, it's Mason Rudolph, which I like getting double digits in that situation a little bit better than Will Levis. Will Levis is a complete fade for me. But on the flip side, what do you call it? Not as much for Mason Rudolph. Thanks. Yep. So we'll move on. This is a play, and I believe this is a site play as well, this game. And there's going to be a theme today, and you're going to have to bear with me in here. It's going to be a theme of ugly dogs. The public smashed last week, so we are going to probably fade that a decent amount this week. Because of how favorites dominated last week, we're gonna look at backing some of these ugly dogs, and this is an ugly dog right here, and it's a contest play for me. Let's get into it here, where we have this line opened up. Look ahead was a 3.5. Opening line was a 5.5, and it's not moved. It's gone from a 5.5. It did get up to a 6 at one point. There's been buyback on the Browns. It's still 5.5. Line opened up at look ahead line 45.5. Opening line 44. It's all the way down to a 41. So a big move towards the under here as well. And let's take a look at the cash flow in this game. 74% of tickets, 86% of the cash is on the Bengals, and this line's not moved at all. 82% of tickets, 63% of cash on the over. The line's dropping towards the under. Question is, has it dropped too much? And when I looked at this matchup here, first of all, I don't think the Bengals should be laying this many points on the road. And I get it. The Browns have not been good this year. They're 1-5. They're 1-5 straight up. They're 2-4 ATS. They've lost 4 games in a row. They did cover last week as 9.5-point dogs, but they're 5.5 here. And one thing that I've noticed, though, and maybe we read too much into this, maybe we don't, but ever since Joe Burrow has come into the league, the Browns have owned him. Now, the Bengals won the last matchup, but that was with Jake Browning under center, not Joe Burrow. Previous to that, the Browns have won 6 of the previous 7 matchups against the Cincinnati Bengals. It's been an ownership here, and we're getting 5.5 in a divisional game. It's an ugly divisional dog. The Bengals are coming in off of a 17-7 win, and they were lucky to cover that game because I believe at the end of the game, they ran in for the touchdown when they could have just fallen, needed out, and the game finishes 10-7. So I think that was a pretty fraudulent cover for the Bengals against the Giants there. They gave up 41 points to the Ravens. They gave up 24 against the Panthers, 38 to the Commanders, 26 to the Chiefs. Like, this is a Bengals team that defensively I don't trust laying this many points on the road. Now, do I really trust the Browns? It's the ultimate question. It makes me very nervous that I am today. But I am on the Browns. I got +6 at -120 with Cleveland in this spot. So we'll see how that works. But I'm on the Cleveland Browns in this game. So Cleveland +6. Bengals smash. Browns are in tank mode. Yeah, there's a divisional game. Burrow will feast today. Maybe. I have no problem trying to see if he can beat the Browns because he's been very unsuccessful doing so in his NFL career. So we'll keep on going, though. This is another contest play for me, and it's a favorite, I know, and I said be careful of favorites today, but there's a few dogs that I'm willing to fade because there's public dogs out there as well. And with the public eating the way they did last week, that can include dogs that the public likes. And the Texans are absolutely that. Look ahead line for this one, 2.5, opening line 3, and it's still a 3. And the line's not really moved. Look ahead line 47.5, opening line 47, and now we're looking at a 48. So the line's moved towards the over, and the line is moved towards and the line's not moved on the side. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game here. 68% of tickets, 76% of the cash on the Houston Texans, and the line's not moved at all. So bigger, more tickets, more bets are coming in on these Houston Texans, and the line's not moving whatsoever. Actually, I think I saw it go from 2.5 up to a 3 at some point. So if anything, the lines move slightly towards the Packers with all the tickets, all the money coming in on those Texans. And this Packers team, since Jordan Love is now healthy and back, the only game he looked bad was his first game back, and that was against the Vikings. And he really looked bad for the first half, and the second half he looked way better. They beat the LA Rams 24-19. They beat the Arizona Cardinals 34-13. The Texans have been strong this year so far. They're 5-1, but they're only 2-3-1 ATS. So that tells me but they've been favored in every game this year. And their only loss was as 1.5-point favorites. And they've yet to be a dog this year, which I think is very telling that the Green Bay Packers are a favorite in this game. I got in at -2.5 at -120. It's now 3s across the board for the Packers in this one here. I got 2.5. I'm taking Green Bay in this spot, looking for them to continue playing well. They're at home where they do play well, and this Texans team being a dog, and especially a dog at this number, I think is very telling. So I'm on the Green Bay Packers here, laying the 2.5 in this one. Over 48. I can see the over in this game. Texans smash. Tank and Diggs, 60-plus receiving yards. CJ, 250-plus passing yards. And Love over an interception. All right, so Drewski's just completely opposite of me on that game. But it is what it is. We'll move on. And this is an interesting game here that I have not moved on yet. We have the Miami Dolphins and the Indianapolis Colts. Look ahead line 3.5. opening line 3.5, and it's now down to a 3. So but the 3 is juiced towards the Dolphins minus 116. Look ahead line 43, opening line 43.5, and the line's not moved. There it's still 43.5. Taking a look at the cash flow in this game here, where we have 55% of tickets, 65% of the cash on the Colts, and the line's moving against them. 72% of tickets, 59% of cash on the over. The line's not moving either there. And not a game I'm getting involved with here. Because this is a Dolphins team I just don't trust. I cashed with the Dolphins in their last game against the Patriots. They're off a bye week. I don't think Tua is expected back, I think, next week, if I remember right, but I don't remember exactly what his status is. I believe he's not playing this game. And this is a Colts team that they've been good against the number this year. The only game they didn't cover was, I think, the only game I faded them in. And that was I faded them against Jacksonville and I pushed with the 3. But I haven't faded the Colts at all this year. Other than the Green Bay game, which the Green Bay Packers did cover in that one. They're 3-3 straight up. They're 5-1 ATS. I'm staying off this matchup. I will continue to root for the Colts for my over win total, and that's just about it. I have no interest in actually betting this game, though. It's a pretty simple pass. This was one of those where I was able to just toss this game away pretty quickly and continue moving on. So no play here for me with the Colts and the Dolphins. I'm on the Colts. No faith in Miami. Fair. Colts money or Dolphins money line. Colts money line. Miami had plenty of time to prepare for this game. Absolutely, they did. Tyreek Hill 70+ receiving yards. There you go. But we'll move on here. Definitely a matchup that I think is going to get a lot of attention. This is the battle for first place in the NFC North. We have the Detroit Lions taking on the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 1-point favorites in this game with a total of 50.5 in this one. I have moved on this one. This is a contest play for me. And this is probably one of my more simpler handicaps that I've had. Look ahead line 1.5, opening line 2, and it's down to a 1. So we have a move towards the Detroit Lions. Look ahead line 48.5, opening line 51. It's now a 50.5. So we do have a move towards the under, and we have a move towards the Lions in this game here. Looking at the cash flow on the money line, 53% of tickets, 77% of cash is on the Lions. So the big bets coming on the Lions, sharp money coming on the Lions. 75% of tickets, 80% of cash is on the over in this one here. The Lions coming in off of probably their best win of the year, a 47-9 blowout win against the Dallas Cowboys. And this was one of those games where I looked and I'm like, the Detroit Lions are, I think, the best team in football right now. Just overall, I think their defense is very underrated. Their offense is finally starting to click, 47-42 the last 2 games. And I think that now there's some teams where I'll be like, yeah, it's going to regress. It's not that easy. I think this is a Lions team I'm very high on. And when you look at what this Lions team has done offensively, they're number 1 in the league in points per game. They're 4th in rushing yards, 4th in passing yards, 3rd in overall yards. And on the flip side, defensively, they're 8th, only giving up 18.2 points per game. Rushing yards, they only give up 83.2 per game. Total yards, 13th in the league. So this defense is a very underrated unit for the Detroit Lions. And for me, this cap was pretty simple. I'm getting the best team in football as a dog. And I get it. It's in Minnesota, so that's probably why they are a dog. But with that being said, what a good momentum killer this could be for the Vikings. A bye week after a London game. I think that may be a little bit too much. And I think that's more of a negative than it is a positive. And I get it. They maybe have more time to prepare, but I think that's and this just might be me, whatever. I think the Lions are the best team in football. I'm getting them as a dog, and that was pretty plain and simply my cap. Because the Lions, other than the Vikings, have been the best team ATS in football. They're 4-1 ATS. The only game they didn't cover, they were 7.5-point favorites, and they lost to the Buccaneers, which the Buccaneers are a good team. I like this Bucs team. I'm going to be on them on Monday Night Football. But with that being said, I'm on the Detroit Lions here. I got even money on the Detroit Lions in this game. I think they're the best team in football, and I see them winning this game. Vikings smash. Vikings money line. Vikings going to feast. Lions defense will regress after the Hutchinson injury. I think for the first game they'll be good, and maybe you fade them next week. Vikings team total over. Will Reichard over 7.5 fantasy points. Lions going to choke this season away like last year. I don't see it. Justin Jefferson, 150 plus receiving yards. Sam Darnold, 40 plus rush yards. 300. Okay, good luck. Vikings defense going to blitz Goff all game. We'll see. And I could very well be wrong. But you give me a price tag like this with what I perceive as the best team in football, I'm going to take a shot with it. So be it. Let's move on. We have the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. The Eagles 3.5 point favorites in this game. Total 42.5 in this spot. Let's take a look at the line history in this game here, where this line has dropped a little bit. Line opened up. Look ahead line 3.5. Opening line 3.5. It's now a 3. I got in at 3.5. Look ahead line 45. Opening line 44.5 down to a 42.5. The question is, has the line moved too much here for an under in this game? The Eagles have been such a good under team this year. We have 78% of the tickets and 82% of the cash is on the Eagles, and yet this line's gone from a 3.5 down to a 3. So the book's showing, the book's showing no fear towards all that Eagles money. 23% of the tickets, 42% of the cash on the under. So the sharp money on the under here as well. We have the Giants coming into this game 2-4. They're 2-3-1 ATS. Their defense has been awesome. 5 unders, 1 over this year. And the Eagles 3-2, 2-3 ATS, 2-3 over under. I've been pretty good with Eagles games. I ended up staying off of I cashed the under in that game last week. So I've yet to lose a bet on an Eagles game in a pretty long time. Because I cashed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs last year. I had the Eagles money line game 1. They beat the Packers. I took the Falcons +6 week 2. They win outright, the Falcons. I took the Eagles week 3 against the Saints. They win that game. I took the Bucs week 4. They lose that game. The Bucs win that game 33-16. And I took the under last week and it finished 20-16. And I said I leaned towards the Browns getting all of them points as well. So I feel like I've had a pretty good read on this Philadelphia Eagles team this year. And I think this is a Giants plus the points and then potentially an under here as well. Both these teams have been pretty good under-wise. The Giants offensively have struggled a little bit. The only game that they've gone over was that 29-20 win against the Seattle Seahawks, which that was because of, the game went over without the blocked field goal touchdown. But that was their only game that they've gone over the total so far this year. And the only games that have gone over the total for the Eagles so far was when they scored 34 points against the Packers week 1, and then when they gave up 33 against the Buccaneers week 6 or 5 in that game. I'm on the Giants plus 3.5 in this game is what I got on them. At 3, maybe I pump the brakes a little bit at the 3 number, but for me, I'm on the Giants plus the points. And I lean towards the under here in this spot as well. 42 seems to be the prevailing number. 42.5 would be a -120. Really 43 would be more of the key number there, though, with the 23-20 potential score, which -125. Yeah. So I lean under the total. Maybe it's an Eagles team total under because this Giants defense, I think, is kind of underrated. Under 23.5, -135. I think that could be a decent look there. If you're looking for a way to back the under in this game, team total under 23.5 with the Eagles. But I'm just on the Giants plus the 3.5 in this game. I got -120 for that. Under 43, Giants money line, Neighbors over 16.5 receiving yards, and Suppness. Let's go, Lex. Suppness to you. We'll keep on going. We have 4 more games in the NFL before we move into the 3 in hockey and then the 1 in baseball. Let's take a look at the line history here. The LA Rams taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. This line, look-ahead line was a 4. Opening line was a 5.5. And now it's all the way up to a 7. So we've had a pretty decent move, and it's juiced towards the Rams. So we might be able to get a 7.5 on the Raiders here soon. Look at line 44, opening line 43.5, and it's still a 43.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game here. See if the line move towards the Rams makes sense. 61% of tickets, 67% of the cash is on the Rams, and the line's moving towards them. Yeah. And then 79% of tickets, 73% of cash on the over. The line's not moving there. Let's take a look at what these two teams have done as of late, because I have a feeling this could be a buy low spot on the Raiders. When I looked at this game here, laying this many points with the Rams does seem very unappealing. The Raiders off of 2 bad losses, 32-13 against the Steelers, 34-18 against the Broncos. The Rams are coming in off of back-to-back losses as well. They're 1-4 on the year, and we're asking them to lay a touchdown in this game. I have a feeling I'm going to land on the Raiders in this game. I'm going to hope to get I'm going to see what I can get for the hook here in this spot. Oh, I can get the hook right here. Minus 115. I'm going to move on the Raiders 7.5 here in this game. I think this is too many points for a Rams team to be laying in this game. And I'll challenge them here. And I know you probably could have said the same thing with the Jacksonville Jaguars this morning, where there's probably too many points for them to be laying, and you could probably be right. But I'm gonna challenge the Rams to cover over a touchdown here, which their only win this year was by 3 points. It was a comeback win against the Niners of all teams. I think it's enough for me to take a shot here with the 7.5 with the Raiders. So give me Las Vegas plus 7.5 minus 115 in this game against the Rams. I think this is too many points. And I have a feeling we might run into another spot where it's too many points in the next game as well. So Raiders for me at plus 7.5. I'm looking for reasons to take dogs. So Brock Bowers over 62.5 receiving yards. Rams smash. Williams anytime touchdown. Bowers 50+ receiving yards. Raiders are tanking now. They are minus 7.5 for a reason. Fair. They did trade Devontae Adams. And this could be a very ugly dog. Raiders team total under. Then maybe a full game under as well. Talk about a team laying a big number here. The Commanders are laying double digits in this game, minus 10 for Washington, total of 51.5. I've already taken double digits earlier in the card with the Tennessee Titans. Maybe that's what I do here in this game as well. Look ahead line 8.5, opening line 7.5, up to a 10. I think that's gone too far. I think it has. Look at line 48, opening line 52, and now it's a 51.5. So we do have a move towards the under since the opening line, but not since the look ahead line. 69% of tickets, 78% of cash is on the over in this game. The line's moving towards the over. Actually, since the reopening line, it's moved towards the under. But yeah, 82% of tickets, 84% of cash on the Commanders, which makes sense why this line's moved as much as it has. I think partial of that is teaser protection with it going from 7.5 right up to a 9. And getting 10 points in this game and potentially 10.5 at minus 120, getting 10 and a hook with the Carolina Panthers is very appealing in this game. And I know it's a very ugly spot. Once again, these ugly, ugly dogs. I think these ugly, ugly dogs are worth a look here in this spot. Wow. Okay, I'll have to talk about that at the end of the game. At the end of this breakdown, but ECU just fired Mike Houston. So yeah, for me, I'm going to take the 10.5 with the Panthers in this game. And I'm going to probably keep on piling on these ugly dogs. After the public 8 last week, I'm looking for ugly, ugly dogs this week. So give me the Panthers plus 10.5 in this game, minus 120 in this one. Another spot where I think dogs are going to eat today. And the books are going to have a get back week after last week. So I'm going to go with yet another dog. Give me the 10.5 here and minus 120 with the Panthers in this game. Let's see, Washington team total over 30.5. Panthers spread. Johnson 60+ receiving yards. Chuba 70+ receiving yards. I like it. Finally on the same side there. But yeah, wow. Mike Houston's been fired by ECU football, and it's going to be Blake Harrell, the defensive coordinator, taking over as the interim head coach going forward. And that does not surprise me whatsoever. Does not surprise me whatsoever. Back-to-back blowout losses. No surprise there. Commanders haven't been favored -8 or more since October 2017. Yeah. Let's move on to the fun one here. 49ers and the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the Niners 2-point favorites in this game, total of 47. Look ahead line -1.5. Opening line -1. Now it's a -2. Let's take a look at the money line real quick to kind of see what type of thing we're working with here. Look at our opening line -120 is now 132 for the 49ers. Okay, so we have a decent move towards them there. Look ahead 47, opening line 46, up to a 47. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game. And wow, public dog alert with the Kansas City Chiefs. 81% of the tickets, 79% of the cash on the Kansas City Chiefs. Line moving towards these San Francisco 49ers. 65% of the tickets, 63% of the cash is on the over in this game as well. This is Niners money line for me. And this was almost a contest play for me personally. And it's -130. I'm going to take that with the 49ers in this game. And the way just the market for me is enough to get me on this game. Also, it's the Super Bowl revenge angle. These two teams played in the Super Bowl last year, and the Chiefs beat the Niners. I think the Niners get their revenge in this game. And I think they're laying points for a reason against an undefeated Kansas City team. So I'm going to be on the Niners here, -130 in this game. The Niners are coming in off of a nice win. They've had extended time to work to prepare for this game though, because they played on Thursday night against Seattle. So they have had plenty of time to prepare, and this is also Andy Reid off of a bye. So both these teams have had plenty of time to prepare. But for me, I think a 3-3 team is favored for a reason in this game. I'm on the Niners in this one. Niners -130 for me. Kittle anytime touchdown. Here, Kittle. Yeah, I could see that as well. Let's keep it going. I've moved on so much. I have so much action on this NFL card, but let's keep it going here in this one. We have the New York Jets and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jets 2-point favorites, total of 39 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history in this game here. And of course, the big storyline with this one, Russell Wilson will be starting. Line opened up at a look ahead line, Pittsburgh -1. Opening line, Pittsburgh -1.5. Now the line's Jets -2. So Jets gone from dog to favorite in this one. Look ahead line 37, opening line 36.5, up to a 39. So we'll move towards the over here as well. Maybe a little bit of an ugly over. 66% of tickets, 64% of cash is on the over in this game. And then we have 51% of tickets, 68% of cash on the Steelers money line, 54% of tickets, 68% of cash on the Jets spread. So the sharper money is coming on Jets spread, but for the money line, the sharper money is coming on the Steelers. So nothing you can really read too much into. And I don't know what to expect from this game. And I'm tired of betting on the New York Jets. I'm going to stay off this game. So probably the Jets will win. The Jets on a 3-game losing streak. They're now 2-4 this season, and they're 2-4 ATS. And on the flip side of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're coming in off of a win to make them 4-2. They beat the Las Vegas Raiders 32-13. I think that score is a little misleading though, because when you looked at, I believe total yards was pretty similar in that game, and first downs, I mean, it was pretty similar in that game, and yet it was a 19-point win. I think that could be a little bit of a sell high spot on the Steelers here in this spot, but I'm not getting involved with the New York Jets again. I need to see something first before I go ahead and do that. I've backed them the last few weeks with absolutely no success. So no interest for me here in the Jets in this game. Small lean towards the over, not betting anything now. The Jets are always on Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football, I swear. Yeah. Anyone like the under in this game? Yeah, some of the tickets do. I have a small lean towards the over, but I'm not betting it. It's gone from 36.5 to 39. So maybe you get the best of the number. 39 is low, but it opened up at a 36.5. But I can see the line movement because of Russ. So, but that is the full NFL card. We'll get into the 3-game NHL card here in this one. After an awesome day yesterday, let's get into it today. The Winnipeg Jets and the Pittsburgh Penguins here in this one. The Jets minus 160 favorites, total 6 in this game. And do I need to reiterate the thing I've been saying every single Penguins game so far this year? They've surrendered at least 3 goals in every single game so far. They've had their games have hit 6 in every single game, except for, of course, the last one where the Penguins did absolutely nothing on offense and they only scored 1 goal and the game stayed under. The Carolina team total over hit in that game. We have a perfect undefeated Winnipeg Jets team. They beat the Oilers 6-0. They had back-to-back 2-1 overtime wins against the Blackhawks and the Wild, and they walloped the San Jose Sharks, as they should have, as minus 400 favorites in that game, 8-3. This is a Jets team that's looked good so far this year, and I think this is a pretty simple play for me in this one. And if you guys know the way I've been betting Penguins games as of late, you should know where I'm going in this one here. I'm going to take the over 6 in this game, minus 117. So getting a 6, I really like that there. And then we're going to go down to the team total over here for the Winnipeg Jets, 3.5 at minus 105. Until the Pittsburgh Penguins learn defense, I will continue to take team total overs against them and full game overs against them within their games as well, because up until last game they had been scoring goals. So for me, I moved on the late game, and I'm going to move on this game. I don't know if I'm moving on the next game or not, but I'm going to be doubling up on this one again. Winnipeg Jets team total over 3.5 minus 105, full game over 6 minus 117. So this one here over 6 minus 117. There we go. That is Jets and Penguins. We'll head back to the chat here, and then we'll head to Sharks and Avalanche. Penguins money line. Good luck. They can win the game, but yeah, I think that the Jets probably score 4. Was thinking the same thing, Robert. I'll pass on the total. Malkin 2 points. Raquel 2 points. Good luck. I just want to see offense, so we'll see. Colorado Avalanche. San Jose Sharks, the Avalanche minus 260 favorites, total 6.5 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history. Oh, we didn't look at the line history at all in that first game. Line opened up at a minus 170. It's down to a 160. So it shows the Penguins are a little bit of a live dog there. Line opened up at a 6 minus 118. It's now a 6 minus 120 towards the over there in that first game. The Avalanche, coming off their first win, opened up as a 241 favorite. It's now a 263. Line opened up at a 6.5 minus 125. It's now a 6.5 at minus 110. So a move towards the under and a move towards these Avalanche in this game here. Do I have any interest in laying minus 260 on the road? The Avalanche, the simple answer is no. 88% tickets, 85% of cash is on the Avs money line. 81% tickets, 85% of cash on the over, and line's dropping. So that does make the under a little bit of appealing in this game. We have, of course, the Colorado Avalanche off their first win of the year. They won 4-3 in overtime against the Ducks. So they really squeaked that one out after losing their first 4 games against Vegas, Columbus, the Islanders, and the Boston Bruins. I believe the San Jose Sharks, and the Nashville Predators are the only winless teams left in the NHL. The only difference is the Sharks have actually received points with 2 overtime losses against the Blues and against the Stars in their first and third game of the season. They're coming in off an embarrassing loss there. The Avalanche have dominated this matchup. They've won 9 games in a row against the San Jose Sharks team. I have no interest in this game whatsoever. I guess if I'm leaning anything, it'd probably be just a puck line with the Avalanche. But do I feel like wanting to lay a minus 110 puck line on the road? Simple answers, no. So it's a pass for me with a lean towards maybe a puck line with the Avalanche. Georgiev has never lost to the Sharks. Yeah, the Avalanche have won 9 in a row against San Jose. So we'll move on. Last game of the NHL card, and then we'll get into the MLB. We have the Anaheim Ducks and the LA Kings. The Kings minus 180 favorites in this game. Total 6 in this spot. Let's take a look at the line history. This line opened up at a 180. It's down to a 174. Line opened up at a 6 at minus 115. That is now a 6 at plus 103. Taking a look at the cash flow in this game here, where we have 79% of tickets, 77% of the cash is on the Kings. In this game, the line's moving against them. 79% of tickets, 82% of cash on the over. And this is pretty plain and simple for me. Give me the Ducks. I got them at plus 160 last night. This is going to be not the final game of the Kings West Coast or the road trip to start the year, because they get one more against Vegas. But this is not a good spot for the LA Kings. They've started the year off with 5 games in a row on the road. It'll be a 7-game road trip to start the year. They beat Buffalo in the first game, but they had back-to-back losses in overtime. They lose 6-2 to the Maple Leafs, and then they bounce back with a 4-1 win over the Canadiens. On the flip side, back-to-back overtime games for the Anaheim Ducks. They lose 4-3 in overtime against the Colorado Avalanche. They beat the Utah Hockey Club 5-4 in overtime. I think this is a scrappy underdog type of Anaheim Ducks team. Pretty plain and simple for me there. And this is a Kings team I'm very, very low on this year. I have them under the point total. I have them to miss the playoffs. And I think this is just a bad scheduling spot. I don't think they should be laying this type of number on the road. And if I'm falling for a trap, taking the Ducks at this big of a plus price tag, so be it. I'm on the Ducks here at plus 160 in this game. I'm confident about that one. I like it. Vanacek has only lost to the Avs one time. Yeah. Troy Terry plus 300 anytime goal. Good luck. Yeah, I like the Ducks in this matchup there. That's the full NHL card. We have one game remaining on the slate, and we'll go from the gridiron to the ice to the diamond. Here we go again. And the New York Mets are taking on the LA Dodgers. The Dodgers are minus 145 favorites, total of 8.5 in this game. Let's switch over from MLB or from NHL to MLB for my line history and for my cash flow. Let's go to the cash flow first when the line history loads. 89% of tickets and 92% of cash is on the Dodgers. So everybody on the Dodgers to close out the series and advance to the World Series to play the Yankees. 78% of tickets and 69% of cash here on the over as well. Let's take a look at what this line has done. It'll be a bullpen game for the Dodgers. It'll be Sean Manaea for the Mets. Line opened up at it looks like a 140. It's now a 142. So really no line movement here. 2 cents maybe of line movement towards the Dodgers with everybody on the Dodgers. Line opened up at an 8.5 at even money. Got down to an 8, back up to an 8.5, and it has moved towards the over here in this one. The bullpens are spent, and I think that this is potentially another over. Maybe it's a Mets team total over. But we're going to continue to go down with the ship here. We've been on the Mets basically every single game this playoff run. And if we're going to just go down with the ship, it's been a hell of a run. We're going to give the Mets one last ride. I got them last night at plus 128. I like the matchup here for the Mets. It's a bullpen game versus the Mets ace in Sean Manaea. And I don't think I would want a matchup for an opportunity to force a game 7 more than this one with a bullpen game, which if the Mets can get to the bullpen early, it'll be less of the high leverage guys. But this could be a spot where if this is a close Mets win, the Dodgers can burn through a lot of high leverage guys. So we'll see what the Dodgers' plan is in this game, judging on how the game goes. But I trust Sean Manaea with the Mets season on the line here with an opportunity to force game 7 tomorrow for a trip to the World Series. So I'm on the New York Mets here. We're going down with the ship here. And if the Mets lose this game, we've made so much money off them in the postseason. It's just one game. And it's been a hell of a ride. So I'm on the New York Mets. I got them at plus 128 to close out this card. Manaea is going to feast. I freaking hope so. I do. Mets plus 130 money line. Lindor, MVP, OMG. There we go. But that is everything for today's slate. I want to thank you guys, as always, for watching. I will be posting all of the plays in my CapperTek here after the show. And you can get all of my CapperTek stuff here on that. Let me see if anybody has followed me as of late, so I can give them a week's pass. Because if you follow me, you get a week for free. So there is that as well. 9 followers. So no, just same amount as it was before. So there's that. If you guys want a week free of my CapperTek and potential exclusive offers and things along those lines, the link to that is in the chat. But that is going to do it for this one. Want to thank you guys as always for watching, and we'll catch you guys same time, same place for another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. Good luck, guys.